The jungle. Got D Strange in the building. You know the deal. Like, share, subscribe. And I want to get into this. The Baltimore Ravens. Yes, the Baltimore Ravens. What happened? We all were watching the game. We thought, Baltimore has the better team. They just gonna win. And then we were watching it and waiting for it to happen and it just never happened. And you're sitting there and you're just lost because you're like, this didn't just happen. You felt the pain, even if you're not a Ravens fan. I mean, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, fine. But even if you're not a Ravens fan, you felt the pain of them losing as a sports fan. Because the reality is the Ravens were the better team this year. They had the better quarterback this year. They had the better all-around team. But the one thing they didn't have better was a better coach. Andy Reid out-schemed the Baltimore Ravens so badly. And this is how he did it. He played it down by down. He didn't want to give Lamar Jackson any more chances than necessary. So he said, I don't care if I'm going to just have 4 yards here, short pass. Run Pacheco here, 3 yards. Third down and manageable. Now Patrick Mahomes can either run for a first down or he can just throw it short, first down. Boom. And then they just kept pacing themselves. So even though you say, the Baltimore Ravens, the defense eventually got themselves back in the game, the reality is the time of possession was too crazy. All right. They had a 9-minute drive at one point in time, the Kansas City Chiefs. A 9-minute drive. You do that to anybody's defense. That's demoralizing. I don't care what they say. And then the Ravens just broke down. So, moving forward, what is it that the Ravens have to do to make sure that they're not in this position again where they're in the AFC Championship game and they just gonna flat lose like that? Well, we all know the answer to that one. It's easy. It's run the ball, right? That was the easy answer. But the reality is they could have ran it this year. So why didn't they run the ball? And then it just comes down to the fact that in the biggest moment, they didn't trust Gus Edwards or Justice Hill. They didn't trust them because if they trusted them, they would at least gave them the ball a couple more times. They didn't give them the ball at all. So they just said, we trust Lamar Jackson and that's it. So it's not even about getting the most dynamic running back. Because even last year when you saw them play the Bengals, they didn't have Lamar Jackson, but they should have beat the Bengals in the playoffs. And they did have J.K. Dobbins. So the reality is when they had a starting running back, they knew how to utilize that time of possession game. It's just about having a running back you trust. Not so much you need a superstar, all-star. Because if they trusted Gus Edwards or Justice Hill, they would have ran the ball more than they did in that second half. I believe that would have helped propel them to a win. So next year coming up, they just have to find a trust level with the players that they have. If you just trust Lamar Jackson and you expect him to be Superman, well, your quarterback at some point in time can't be your best running back. And the same thing with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's the same syndrome. Your quarterback can't be your best running back. At some point in time, you have to trust your running back to keep you in some type of rhythm that can keep the defense honest. And if you can't do that, you're going to lose these big time games. Trust me. Ask John Elway until he got Terrell Davis. All right. The jungle.